All right, guys, welcome back to our investigation. So, I'd planned to discuss with you the recent lawsuit against P&G and the fluoridated toothpaste, but I'm going to have to pause that discussion in order to share with you a recent experience that I had with the County of Henrico and their Facebook page. So many of you know that I have been doing my very best in order to get through to the County of Henrico. For those of you who may not know, the County of Henrico is choosing to put a cognitive neurodevelopmental hazard into our community drinking water. What is that cognitive neurodevelopmental hazard? It is called hydrofluorosilicic acid. It is a type of fluoride. Fluoride is not a nutrient. It is a chemical. It is an additive. It is a mineral. It is a drug, okay? Many people seem to be adverse to the word drug, but the FDA has said that sodium fluoride is considered a drug, an unapproved drug, and a new drug. And hydrofluorosilicic acid is comparable to sodium fluoride. Many cities and counties used to put sodium fluoride into the drinking water. It's a powder, and they have switched over to hydrofluorosilicic acid, which is a liquid, and it seems to be cheaper, which is why they switched over. Hydrofluorosilicic acid is not FDA approved. It is not cleaned up to pharmaceutical grade. So, yes, this is a drug. But if you would prefer to call it a mineral because it makes you feel a little bit better inside, call it a mineral. Asbestos is a mineral. Lead is a mineral. Fluoride is a mineral too. Okay, so I have been doing my very best to reach out to the County of Henrico to let them know that this is a hazard to humans and that they should stop deliberately adding it to the drinking water. I have let them know that the National Toxicology Program has said this is a cognitive neurodevelopmental hazard to humans. I have sent them the information, depositions where the EPA has said under oath that there is no safe level of fluoride known to exist to ingest. I have also sent them the information from the FDA that the FDA just banned it in children under 3. They've also banned it in children who have low to moderate risk of dental caries. And yet the County of Henrico continues to double down and put this toxin into our drinking water. I just am trying to get through to them. And one of the avenues that I have been trying is to reach out to them through their Facebook page. So the County of Henrico has a government-run Facebook page. And I've sent them information and sent them, evidence and so forth and so on, such as the lawsuit against the EPA. We do know that the EPA is appealing that case, but they are appealing it not because of the substance. They're appealing it in essence because they said that they don't believe that the judge should have been allowed to read the science. So again, the EPA is not saying that fluoride is safe to ingest. They just said that they don't think it was fair that the judge was allowed to read the science, right? So I've sent all of this to the County of Henrico in a variety of ways, including Facebook. And in the past, when I have sent information on their Facebook page, I left a comment below. It appeared that the public wasn't able to view my comment. So I kind of stored it in the back of my mind and thought, well, I will address this later on. And I did. I addressed it in person to the woman who helps moderate the county's Facebook page. And She told me that yes, they deliberately hide people's comments on Facebook. And I said, you really need to be careful about this because that's censorship, and you're making the county vulnerable to a USC 1983 civil rights lawsuit. I have also spoken to an individual who is in the public relations, Henrico County Public Relations, and again said, it appears that the way that you guys are moderating the content is would be considered viewpoint discrimination, and you're subjecting yourself to a USC 1983 civil rights lawsuit. But I said, listen, I'm not a lawyer, so please don't take this as legal advice. I encourage you to reach out to the attorneys and have a discussion, because from everything I'm seeing, you're engaging in censorship, government censorship. Okay, so I kind of just left it alone because I wasn't really doing too much on there. But then what happened was a few days ago, we had Veterans Day. And the County of Henrico put out a post regarding Veterans Day, and I left a comment below. I was the only individual who made a comment on Veterans Day, and we'll go over to the Facebook page so I can show you what's going on. I can show you the comment that I left. And it looked like people weren't able to see my comment that I left. So I reached out to another viewer and I said, hey, I left a comment on Henrico County's Facebook page on the Veterans Day post. Can you tell me if you're able to see my comment? And they said, no, I can't see your comment. I don't see anything. I said, okay. So I started looking into it to see what was going on, and they are moderating my comment in a way that is not easily viewed by the public. So they are engaging in viewpoint discrimination, because when I leave a comment regarding, how fabulous something is, everyone can easily see that. But when I'm leaving a comment regarding being critical of the county violating people's informed consent by putting this chemical hydrofluorosilicic acid into the drinking water, that's being hidden. So I dug into some of the case law recently, and I'm going to show you what Henrico County is doing. I'm going to show you the law, and then you tell me of whether or not you believe that the County of Henrico is engaging in censorship, thereby violating my First Amendment right. Okay, so with that being said, let's jump over to Facebook. We will jump over to some of the laws, and we will wrap it up. Okay, so for the sake of this this video, everything is in my opinion. And we will just say that at this point that I am alleging that Henrico County is in fact engaging in moderating my content in a way that is they're discriminating against my viewpoint. Okay, so they allow me to say positive things, that's not being hidden, but when I say negative things, that is being hidden. That is viewpoint discrimination, and that is a violation of our First Amendment right. Okay, so in my opinion, let's see what you think. So let's get into it. Okay, guys, this is what I wanted to show you. So, on Veterans Day, 4 days ago now, the County of Henrico made an announcement that they're going to be closed on Veterans Day. Now, I left a comment below, and you can't easily see it. If you compare my comment to a previous comment, you can see easily there, you see what's going on easily. So I've seen this before, and I thought, what's going on? Are people able to see my comments? So I would click on my comment, and this is what I said the other day. I said, right here, FDA bans ingestible fluoride prescription drug products for children while Henrico County continues to put unapproved fluoride in the water supply. I said, see FDA press release. FDA acts to protect children from unapproved fluoride drug products. Remember, hydrofluorosilicic acid is also an unapproved chemical that is being put into the drinking water for the purpose of preventing cavities. I provided the citation, of course, and then I said, the Henrico government is not our doctor and should get out of the business of shoving drugs down our throats. Water fluoridation is a clear violation of informed consent, number 1 of the Nuremberg Code. The County of Henrico does not have very much time left if they hope to be on the correct side of history. I then go on to say that veterans didn't fight for America, so the Henrico County Board of Supervisors could violate our rights to bodily autonomy, okay? Now, let me show you another post that I did recently in order to kind of further test my theory and see what's going on. I'm fairly new to Facebook, believe it or not, guys. The reason why I started becoming active on Facebook is so I could send the County of Henrico information, easily. So I recently posted another comment above here. Let's scroll up just a little bit. Okay, so the County of Henrico has this reservoir, and it's called the Virgil R. Hazlett Reservoir at Cobbs Creek. Virgil Hazlett was the previous county manager, and they named this reservoir after him. And I left a comment below, and you can see, you could easily see that I had left a comment, okay? And it says, I said, the low river levels are, well, in case you guys are interested, here's what the situation was. They essentially, the James River is getting low, and so the Virginia Department of Emergency Quality has concerns about low precipitation and groundwater levels in central Virginia. And so Henrico Public Utilities has begun sending water back into the river to hopefully reduce the impact of further drought conditions. So they've built this reservoir, and it prevents water from going into the James River. And so they're saying, okay, the river's low, so Henrico County is going to release water from their reservoir in order to help out. So I was kind of concerned, and here's what I mentioned. I said, the low river levels are a concern for me. I was a commercial whitewater raft guide for 7 years. I started off guiding on the James and can tell you firsthand that it hurts us boaters when people take water from upstream. It also hurts the plants, fish, and animals. As someone who practically lived at the James River and regularly went to Pony Pasture, Reedy Creek, Belle Isle, and Pipeline, I have paid close attention to what goes on relating to water. This includes the quantity and quality of water of all kinds. I am pleased to know that when times get tough, Henrico will release some of the water that they gobbled up. I hope this good measure continues in the future. I will continue to pray for the boaters and the wildlife downstream in the city of Richmond. And here's why this is important, because we have another individual who responded to my comment and said the idea is to fill the reservoir during high water times. It's then released during low water times, helping to keep the river alive. And I responded by saying, that's good to hear. Thank you for the information. See, it's important for the public to be able to communicate with each other. I haven't investigated the impacts of this reservoir in a way that I can't say if it's good or bad. In some aspects, and straight away, I can think it's fabulous. And in some aspects, I can think about how it might impact, further downriver. Particularly, the city of Richmond gets water from the James River. And so I'm wondering if this reservoir, prevents water from going into the James, is water going to be... Is there going to be enough water for the folks downriver? Is there going to be enough clean water for the folks downriver? These are kind of the questions that, are circulating in my mind, but I can't, because I don't have enough information, I'm not going to say anybody's doing anything right or wrong, in other words. And so it's important to be able to have a discussion. I have a desire to learn. Other people have a desire to learn as well. So when Henrico County prevents folks from being able to see comments easily, it concerns me, right? Because this is a government-run Facebook page, and you don't have the right to censor me. But again, I was unsure because I click on it, my comments here, but I don't know. In the past, when I was leaving comments on their Facebook page regarding water fluoridation, there was always somebody from the peanut gallery that was interested in chiming in, and I just noticed nobody's chiming in lately, so what's going on? So what I did was reached out to another viewer and said, can you tell me what you saw? And let's go over to what that viewer is seeing. So this is what other viewers see when they go on to the Henrico County Facebook page. So you can see it's the same, post about Veterans Day, okay? And again, you don't see any words below. You do here, down here, but not up here, okay? So then I asked the viewer, well, what happens if you click on it? And when they click on it, it says there's no words here. There's nothing below. I'm not going to scroll all the way down because I'd like to keep this viewer's information private. But you can see there's nothing here. So I then said, okay, the individual clicked over here and said, well, I can see that you did leave a comment. So what's going on? And down here in small words, it says most relevant. Most relevant is selected. So some comments may have been filtered out. Okay, so my comment especially has essentially been filtered out. If you go over to the side and click on, you have the option to click on most relevant newest, or all comments. If you were to click on all comments, this viewer should be able to see my comments, and they did. But when Henrico County has their settings to most relevant, then it filters out my comments. This is a form of censorship. This is content moderation. Okay, they should not be filtering out my comments. There's also a way to filter my comments. So if I input so then they can censor anything with the word fluoride or fluoridation or hydrofluorosilicic acid and so forth, then, they can censor this. This is what's called content moderation, and it's done in a way to censor my particular viewpoint. You can see they're happy to show my comments if it's positive, but when I'm being critical, then they're filtering it. This is content moderation, and it's viewpoint discrimination. Okay. So this is very inappropriate what they're doing, especially because people are following me on Facebook, and it would seem, based on what others are telling me, that when it's being censored this way, kind of hidden, then they're not able to, they don't see that I've even said anything on the Henrico County Facebook. Now, one could say, well, people can see the comment if you click on, like I said, newest or all comments, then you could see it. Well, yes, but it's still you're still moderating the content in a way that hurts me but helps other people. I would say that this is done in a way almost like, okay, they put sheer curtains on over my content. So sure, if you look really close, you can see out the window through the sheer curtains, but they're not putting sheer curtains on other people. I mean, they probably are. But this is a problem. So is this a form of censorship? Absolutely. Is it a violation of the First Amendment? I would say yes, and we can go look at the case law regarding this. So that's this. The Henrico County individuals who are running this Facebook page had also censored me when I left a comment on a different day. They were advertising that they were going to have a Board of Supervisors meeting, and they censored me as well. So let me show you that. I want to show you that I apparently am not the only one being censored. This was November 6th. The county posted that they're having a Board of Supervisors meeting. I look, there's no comment, right? So I'm like, what's going on? There's no comment. You can see one comment got left, but where is it? Well, apparently this is being filtered out, and they claim that this is by most relevant. Well, this is the only comment, so it is the most relevant. This is exactly what happened on my Veterans Day post. I was the only person that posted, and it's being filtered out. They're not actually doing it by most relevant. And who gets to decide what's most relevant anyway? So let's see what this person had to say that the county of Henrico feels should be hidden from the public. I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay, here we go. I am the tenant advocacy coordinator, and I represent for Oakland Village here in the Varina district. I'm here because Oakland Village residents and myself are being left out when we talk about safety, fairness, and living conditions in Henrico County. For years, we've been reporting black mold, pest infestations, broken and mold-infested HVAC systems, and retaliation and discrimination from management. We've shared photos, videos, and letters, and we've been ignored and they're being ignored again, because they're hiding their comments. These are not small issues. They've caused serious health problems for our children, our caregivers, and our elders. Some of us have been hospitalized because of the conditions, including myself and my children. Oh my goodness. What's happening at Oakland Village is constructive eviction. Families are being forced out by neglect. We shouldn't have to beg for basic safe housing. No one should. I'm asking the board and especially Supervisor Nelson, please stop ignoring Oakland Village. We deserve the same protection, attention, and respect as every other community in Henrico. We need action and accountability, not more silence. Wow. We would like to be part of this upcoming meeting if this is a good meeting for our residents to attend to address some of our concerns. Let us know so we can prepare promptly to attend. And nobody reached out to them. And I mean, I'll reach out to this person and let them know that they can show up during the public comment period and speak. But this is ridiculous. This is inappropriate. Right? Essentially, they are trying to say that it shouldn't be seen because it's being filtered out. And one might argue, well, if you go to all comments, then you can see it, so it's not completely being hidden. Well, you can't operate that way. You can't discriminate against people. You can't allow comments to be easily seen about puppy dogs and kittens, but comments that are being more critical of Henrico County, those don't get to be seen. And what they're doing is deliberate. There is an actual setting on Facebook that they have on, and they are censoring this out. Let me show you that real quick, and then we'll go over to what the law says. So if you go to account, setting and privacy, settings, and then there's an area, it is called, where is it? Is it followers and public content? Yeah. Okay, so you go to followers and public content, and there's an option here. It says show most relevant comments first. When comment ranking is turned on, you'll see the most relevant comments for your post first. Well, again, who gets to be the arbiter of what's most relevant, right? Of course, you can see I have mine turned off. You can also, so when they have this option on, they are filtering out certain comments so they can't be seen. Then you can also hide comments containing certain words from your profile. So I wouldn't be surprised if Henrico County has will hide my comments when I use the word fluoride, fluoridation, hydrofluorosilicic acid, and so forth and so on. I don't know this to be sure, but based on the conversations I had with those in Henrico County, I would not be surprised. So yeah, the bottom line is that Henrico County is actually hiding comments. This is inappropriate. You should not be able to do that. You can see easily when I say something, decent about Henrico County, you can easily see it, but as soon as I say something more critical that I did over here, it's not being seen, okay? It's not being seen by the public. So let's get into the law now, shall we? A viewer brought this case to my attention, and it wound up being really helpful because it has to do with government censorship for social media. Okay, so we're going to go straight to the part that I found to be helpful, which was actually down here. And this particular judge in this case brought up that the plaintiff had cited to 4 circuit court cases predicting Leonard's activity that found that government action moderating in interactive comment sections violates the First Amendment. So when Henrico County is moderating my content, they are violating the First Amendment. So these are the cases. Again, this is about Facebook, and they vary, in what the government was doing. Facebook, this was Facebook, again, Facebook, and Trump even banned viewpoint discrimination. And then it says, in all those cases, federal courts of appeal found that First Amendment rights existed to comment in interactive sections on government posts, and regardless of the type of forum, moderation activity that discriminated based on viewpoint violated that right. So when Henrico County is kind of making it more difficult for people to view my content that's critical of the government, but making it less, so it's harder to see my content that criticizes the government, but it's easier to see my content that favors the government. That is what we call viewpoint discrimination, and you're violating my First Amendment rights. Now, what's interesting in this particular case right here, what was being discussed was whether or not these individuals in this case should be stripped of their qualified immunity. And the judge said, yes, you need to be stripped of your qualified immunity because we already know that you can't censor regarding Facebook. Okay, the first person who censored, they got a free pass when it came to, they still had qualified immunity because it was the first time, right? Okay, now we've got 4 cases, so everybody knows what the deal is, which means that you no longer have qualified immunity, okay? So let me go out of this. Okay, guys, so what do you think? Is the County of Henrico engaging in censorship? Is this viewpoint discrimination when they make it a little bit more difficult for folks to be able to read Facebook comments that are critical of the government? I'm going to say yes. And I think a judge would say yes too. And not only that, is courts are now saying that you don't have qualified immunity. So the County of Henrico would likely not have qualified immunity on this issue. The individual folks who are censoring my content as well as that other person's content, the individual Henrico County workers would likely also lose qualified immunity, right? This is a problem. What are we doing? You would think by now the government knows not to censor people, but no, that's what they do. That's what governments do, right? When they don't get their way, they want to censor you. When they don't like when you're criticizing, they will censor you. This is not appropriate. This is very un-American. What Henrico County is doing is very un-American, okay? These people that are moderating this content in Henrico County is being very un-American. This is unconstitutional. It is a violation of the U.S. Constitution. It is a violation of the Virginia Constitution. So I would suggest that they cut it out because they are subjecting themselves to a USC 1983 civil rights lawsuit, okay? And I don't want the county to be sued because ultimately, if the county sued, let's say, it's $50,000. I'm just pulling a number out. It's $50,000 that the citizen was awarded, who ultimately winds up paying. the taxpayers. We pay when they violate the law. But I don't know if I'm right and that Henrico County doesn't win qualified immunity, then I would imagine the individual players are going to have to pay out and not the county as a whole, right? I think that's how that works. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. And I encourage you, if you are dissatisfied with government censorship, make your voices heard, right? We need to be better than this, right? What are we doing? If Henrico County thinks water fluoridation is so fabulous, then come out behind the shadows and say that water fluoridation is so fabulous. But they're not doing that. Why? Because they know that it's not fabulous. They know it hurts the brain. They know that it hurts the thyroid. Why? Because I've sent them the information. Now, if they want to claim that, well, I didn't read the information or I didn't understand the science, then that's even worse because you are putting a substance into the drinking water and you have no idea what's going on. Talk about reckless, right? So whether or not you did really know or you didn't know, whichever way you slice it, it's bad. And then to pile on the fact that you're engaging in government censorship just makes what you're doing that much worse. And the fact that you did it on Veterans Day is egregious in my opinion. The only day that would have been worse for them to censor me would be 4th of July, right? The only day that they could have, the only thing that would have made it worse from censoring me on Veterans Day is censoring me on the 4th of July. But, I wouldn't put it past them. That's what they did because I'm pretty sure I commented on their Facebook post on 4th of July. So I'll have to go back and see, did they censor me on 4th of July too? Come on, guys. All right, so that's all I have to say today. Make sure that you leave a thumbs up if you like this video. Make sure you smash the subscribe button. You share it with others and leave a comment below. Okay, guys? Bye. See you next time. Thanks, guys.